Oh. Cheers, Coca-Cola. Time for our musical intro. All right. Hopefully we'll get to finally get some strings on this thing. These are whatever it came with. According to a page I saw, it's supposed to be basically the same same gauges as these. They're in the corner. Didn't focus. 9, 11, 16, 24, 32, and 40. But these are nickel wound. No idea what these are. These were probably put on the guitar when it was manufactured, which was, according to the date on the box, late 2024. You're just, for some reason it was back ordered. I don't know how it can be back ordered and been made that long ago, but I'm just happy to have it. Bet that means the strings are probably months old. And I smell a bit of kind of rusty metal. Oh, before I do the unboxing, I need to fix this little bear that my wife got me years ago. It fell and his nose came off, and she wasn't happy. So let's do that to make my lovely wife happy. Never hurts to make your wife happy. I highly recommend it when you can. Stop coming out, glue. Stop coming out. This is some of the gel. Thought might fill gaps and things a little better. Ah! Of course. Oh. Thought it looked like it needed to move a little bit to get over the non-colored parts, but let's hold this stuff for 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, multitasking, 11, 12, this will be a 13, 14, 15. I was slow, so that's probably fine. Should be a Okay, so this is a contact mic. For hooking onto the violin to use with this tuner. Which should be sitting right here, but I don't see it. Nice of them to design a box that was like 1/4 inch too small to actually fit this damn thing. Okay, if I get the top done, maybe I can. Perfect. Oh well, maybe we'll just find it later. We can go in there. I've got a little thing in the case, so I can put it in that. Alright, bear is repaired. Put that where my wife will find it. Got a little unboxing here. Put that box over here. It's a cute little pluggables cable thing, but I'm not gonna need it, so into the trash. I'm gonna put this on the charger, which I moved. At least I think I moved it. sorry, I moved it and into a place that apparently immediately got lost. But then I found it, and I thought I better move it to someplace else. I think somebody must have put a different Allen wrench because it doesn't fit. Knife time. Always a good idea to use something to make sure it can't go too deep. I don't think this will be very exciting. It's a Sweetwater package. I ordered 2 things. One's got some goodies for doing some mods or upgrades. The other one is probably this one. Yeah. It just has a couple of packs of new picks. Yay. Miss the old celluloid, but these aren't bad. Few things of fingeries. Yay. Candy. Alright. Gum, an interesting purple thing. Had a few boxes in a row. I didn't get any candy and I missed it. Oh, kind of purple. Grape. Alright. I really like Sweetwater, but I don't know what to do with Sweetwater stickers. I'm looking forward to the stuff tomorrow. But I wouldn't be able to install the stuff today, really, so it's okay, it's just not here yet. By the way, it's a good idea to store these tipped down so they don't go dry. I actually say that on the package, I'd never noticed it. I'm about to need another container. What in the world did that come with? Probably came with the violin. We had an electrical storm. Damaged my amp that I usually use for streaming. And blew out the power supply on my computer. I replaced the power supply. This little piece goes in to help hold it in place. Forgot to put this back in. Some other stuff that came with the power supply, so I'll put it with that for now. There's all the wires. Always best to label things, if you're still keeping them around, that are bad, like old dead PSU. That should be pretty explanatory. I need to do with my violin. No, I didn't even realize there was direction. Do not place the violin in the play or rehearsal space conveniently. As long as you leave the violin, it sure is in the case. That's the point. If you leave it where it's convenient, it will also be in place of possible danger. I obviously need to do some organization here. Actually got these drawers to help with that. Lock in on top of each other. But I haven't decided exactly what to put in them, so I haven't started using them yet. Box done. I need a guitar. Out. Get it cleaned up. Had a bit of a disaster with this guitar, because when I got it, it was basically set up perfect. Just perfect. But had a little bit of an issue with the truss rod. There was some gunk in there from the factory, which made it hard to see, and it felt like there was nothing in, like the wrench was just going in there and just spinning. Turned out, I later found out that it's kind of illusion, because there's a metal ring that goes on this side of the truss rod adjustment nut. So when you put it in there, you put the tool in there and you turn it, there's no resistance and that ring doesn't spin, so it's like the wrench is too small. Turned out, I was able to figure out that the truss rod itself was actually spinning, the nut was. Just couldn't feel it until you got way over, and then it felt like it was going to slip. So it was all the world like it was too small. But the only way to find out for sure was to take the neck off. And when I put it back on, it was all out of whack. When I took the neck off, all I did was take the springs off and then just pick that up, take it off. So when I put it back in, all the springs I had marked, so they went back in the same places, so they should have the same tension. And it was basically in tune with itself, just a little bit off of actual concert pitch. But the action was too high. There was just issues. Luckily, Sweetwater was kind enough to send me the numbers. I got it dialed back in a bit. I actually want to adjust the height of these two strings a bit. While I have it apart. Because right now, this side of the tremolo is lower than this side. Which is the easy way to get more clearance on this side where you have the bigger vibrating strings. But it means the way these studs are, they're like two cones that come together with a flat line in between. And then you've got the flat blade here that needs to go flat with that line. These blades are actually curved, so it's kind of important that they need to be in line as much as possible. Otherwise you've got all kinds of curves and angles, and there's just no way it can be as efficient tilted as it can be when it's straight. If we just adjust these saddles to be a little higher on this side, then we can lower that down a little so it's straight. For reference, these in pairs are the same. Should be some marks on the bottom, little lines or dots. It'll say that these two are the same, these two are the same, and these two are the same. Okay. I don't like trying to take these measurements while it's got weight on the neck. Should really be taking these measurements in playing position. Alright. Yeah, that's basically on E. If I tilt that back without touching the neck, look how far off that is. Back to E. That's how much difference you can get just from changing the angle of the guitar, so that's why it's important to do your final adjustments in playing position, how the guitar is going to be actually played. Because if you set it up to how it looks the best on the bench, then when you put it up here, it's going to be off. Okay, just seeing where she was at. Looks like it's at 5/64 and 4/64. I would think. If I put 1/64th or 1/64th shim or pair of shims under there, and maybe not quite that much under there. Let's see what that one's at. This is almost at 4/64s. Just a little over. Actually hurt my ear. This white resonant guitar. Yeah, everything's basically in tune. With a Floyd, you really want it level here, in tune, everything before you start changing. Change them one at a time. This is a really great tool if you deal with Floyd Roses. Let's see if that it's not gonna. Come on. Why doesn't it want to? It's annoying when this thing won't autofocus. There we go. But one of the great things about it, if your nut or these screws here, put that in. When you're tightening it, once that wrench starts to flex, don't tighten it anymore. It's fine. So it can save on stripping things out needlessly. I like individual paper or packaging. I don't like this in pairs stuff. So brass and black are the first two. The heck is that color? Is that not black? What? Why would you have two different ones colored black and two colored brass? Ugh. Oh, okay. I was a little confused because I saw these unwound things. Looked like they were putting a wound and an unwound. Alright. Loosen the old screw here. That's gonna annoy me. Let's move that.
Maybe.
Hey, sweetheart, how you doing?
Why does it feel muggy in here?
Huh?
Muggy.
I don't know. I fixed the bear.
It's not your bear.
Yeah.
I never pick your nose anymore.
Right.
So, Tex has gone for a nap.
Oh yeah?
And I left Joy chatting to my avatar.
Chatting to your avatar?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You know, a little icon thing. Huh? I'm not in there anymore, but I left him in there.
Is he actually talking to it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said he was going to get out because it would seem weird.
Hmm. So what I'm going to do up there is stick it through, wind it over the top once, then probably 3 down, and then feed it this way.
New strings come today.
I already had them,
Oh.
but I'm just going to put 2 on this one because it's so thick. Yeah, we did get new strings and picks, fingeries.
Okay. Alright, well, I'll leave you to it.
Alrighty. Love you, baby.
Love you too.
I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to say right about there. The main thing to take away from this is that I've already got the string wound up there. The reason I'm doing it this way is because sometimes when you're tightening up there, it starts twisting the string, introducing a torsional load, which makes it hard to keep the string stable. I want to make sure that's straight up and down. Tighten it till the things start to stretch. I've got enough slack in this one, I could have gone shorter. Yeah, I should have gone shorter. Very useful tool called a string stretcher. Stretcher with an A. Pretty good stretch. Had to do it about 6 times. This and this, learned about them thanks to a one of Eddie Van Halen's guitar techs. Can't remember his name right now. Which, however you might feel about Eddie Van Halen's music, he was a tremolo guy. I don't think anybody can deny that. And one would imagine the people that work on his tremolos and things probably know their stuff, eh? Put my finger over there so I don't accidentally knock that little block out. You can cut your strings off if you want. A lot of times I save them, especially if they're fairly new like this. Well, I guess these might not be that new since the guitar was built several months ago. But, you know, with in my experience, the strings usually break off down here. And basically, you just clip that off so it's square again, put it back in, you know, loosen it up there, stick it back in, tighten it back up. But if it's too short or something, you can take another string. Plus, sometimes I use the strings for other things, or the little ball ends, etc. Alright, let's get to work on this one. I don't have any preference one end or the other as long as you're past the point where the windings are. Let me go one over two under. Pull that reasonably tight without kinking it. think I'm going to do the next one from the bottom. Well, not from the bottom up, but feed it this direction. It's actually been a little while since I've done this, so... Alright. Now if you have a Floyd that just has holes there, they go all the way through, your string may actually be able to go down and contact the plate. So you may have to keep from going all the way through. Making sure that my string is straight up and down in that slot. Nope. It wiggled. There we go. Just figure that whatever extra time you spend right here is going to pay off in the long run. But I did this totally wrong. Forgot I already did my windings up there, so I just need to clip her off about here. And we'll do that again. Yeah. But the better you do at this end, the less trouble you're going to have later on. So spending a little extra time here getting things right. Going to benefit you in the long run. Kind of binding up there a bit. There we go. Oops. Boy, I'm messing up every way possible this time. Forgot to take that out. So ignore all the mistakes I'm making. Just concentrate on the important part. Getting your strings good and stretched. And I really think it's better to lock it in here before you tighten it up there. I mean, lock it in. Get it wrapped up there. Lock it in here. Why'd that one go way off? That's weird. Oh, did I not actually? I should just turn off this video. I'm doing terrible. Once these are tuned right, you can go ahead and lock them down. In fact, it's better to do it that way. Alright. Let's see if I can do this better next time. D is nickel. What the hell? E, B, E, D, E, A, D. Eat a damn good breakfast every day. Except that's an E. D, E. What the fuck? I can get some weird aspect there. Calling the D string an E string. Just to make me happy, I guess. I mean the G string. They really wound these kind of funky too. Oh my god. So that one had to be unwound to that point. Now this one starts unwinding. Okay. So I'm going to try to do this pair the right way. Right way according to myself. Unlocked it up. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Because I'm not going to be reusing these. not proud. Making mistakes. Finger over the hole. Okay. I'm going to cut off that. Stick it through here. And one over. This time I'm just going to do one under, because why not? Lock down the string to hold it in place. Doesn't matter if I kink the string here because see my kink. Because I'm going to be cutting that part off. Go to here. Flip it off. Make sure your strings aren't wound up there, but like crossing over each other. So I'm going to put my glasses back on to make it easier to see if I've got these things. Got it absolutely straight. So I like to use my tremolo, and I like to stay in tune. So pretty good. Okay, it stopped turning, wrench is flexing. Loosen the nut. This time I remember I've got that. Stretchy, stretchy. Watched a guy doing a video where he was testing out various cheap guitar gadgets. And he had a very strong sense that, you know, practice was the best thing you could do for yourself on the guitar. So on this thing, he's like, well, it does seem to make it, you know, more stable right away. But I think it's better that you just play your guitar. It'll eventually stretch the strings anyway. That way you get practice in while you're getting the string stretched. And I was like, you know, this adds almost no time to this process. What is the point of playing or practicing out of tune, you know? Because that's all that's there for, is to prevent it from going out of tune easy. And if you just let these things go natural, you'll be tuning all the freaking time. All you're going to do is get tuning practice. Alright. Tuning practice. You can get plenty of tuning practice on something other than a Floyd Rose, I guess. go ahead and snap that. Finger over the hole to keep the block from coming out when you pull the string. Got the string. Through the nut. Under the string tree. I'm going to try 3 on this, or 1 over and 2 under. Tighten the string nut. Go to there, clip her off. I need to empty my trash. Make sure your strings aren't crossed. I've had that happen. Tied everything up, but then realized that the string had gotten wound around another string. Very unsatisfying. Make sure your string is straight. Before you get it, horse it down, make sure, double check, nope. There we go. No longer bending. That's about how much slack I've got. I'll be able to get up a little more here. I don't know if we can get the whole guitar. Not really with my head. They're in the way and stuff. Oh well. Not a huge amount to see up there. Loosen the nut. Ooh. 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll do it. Where'd it go? There it is. I'm gonna keep jumping to the wrong screen. good. Time to lock the nut. Lock the nut. Good pick. That was a bit used. Put that in there. Okay. Now this string is actually broken off above the nut, so it's in pitch, but it's because I was doing something I meant to loosen it, but I hit the tighten instead. So that may snap a bit when I undo the nut. That was the wrong one. Ah, shit. That was a mistake. Here's my tool. Screwed up. Floating tremolo. Floating tremolo, you're trying to equalize the spring tension with the string tension. And then the locking nut allows you to lock off the strings at the nut, so after you've locked it, all the tension or lack thereof above that nut, it doesn't matter. Like I said, this next string that I've got to change is broken off above the nut, so it doesn't even go into the tuning bag. It doesn't matter. Hey Chris. Hey some guy. Oh sorry, I didn't see anybody was talking. Like dude, I have one of these Kramers, love it. It's the only guitar I have where I feel like I got the perfect action set up on it. All my other guitars just feel a bit off where I want them to be. A few Wolfgang specials and a Charvel. Just feel like the bridge neck on these so nicely aligned somehow. That I mean the height of the neck off the top of the body relative to where you can set the bridge height are so closely attuned to each other. Bro, my head freshly bald. Did you cut your hair? Yeah, I had another Kramer before this one, a Kramer Vintage, and then I got this. I didn't like the 14-inch radius on the other, but you know, same pickup, same kind of tremolo, you know, very similar guitars, but feel of this one is totally different. When I got it, action and everything was as perfect as I could expect it to be. And I was actually in big trouble because there was some gunk down in there, and it felt like the truss rod tool wasn't working. So I had to take the neck off to see in there and clean it out and stuff. And when I put it back together, it felt totally different. And I was heartbroken. So I had to contact Sweetwater, get the specs that it was supposed to be at. Which, trying to ask Gibson / Kramer for their factory specs is like trying to ask somebody to borrow their teeth. Cat and shaved this thing. Bald, my scalp need help. I finished rubbing. You put rubbing oil on it? Well, as I was saying, everything's about balancing that tension, and what I did just now that screwed things up. So I had everything right and locked in, but then I had the strings loosened by pushing down on the tremolo, and I accidentally unlocked the center two strings, which I'd already changed. Since the nut, once the nut was unlocked, it changed the tension above the nut, so I had to reset that again. Now let me try to do the one that I was supposed to. My class is tomorrow, about to be as loud as it gets. How is the intonation when you got it? I use 9 to 42s, which I think come on them. According to the specs page, it said they were 9 to 42s. But sometimes they just tune at the factory before shipping it and the intonation is off. Well, Sweetwater... Sweetwater does a 55-point inspection on their guitars before they send them out. I don't know if this is focusing or not, but that's like all the things they look over. And one of the things is to check intonation and stuff. And I didn't like actually check the intonation, but everything played so good I kind of assumed it was right. Good with those checks, I know exactly what you're gonna grab. Yeah, I agree. Usually pretty good from them. Yeah, the place I ordered before, the one I got the Kramer vintage from, when I got it, the tremolo arm was sitting on top of the guitar when I opened the box. I don't know if they just tossed it in there or if it was supposed to be in the bag, but the bag was zipped, so I don't know how that happened, but it had banged around, put dings in the paint, knocked chips out. They like loosened the strings, but raised the tremolo so far up that the tremolo rocked back like that, dug into the body with these spring fingers that are under there. One of the things was screwed down so tight that I had to use pliers to wrench it free. It was like the worst setup guitar I'd ever come across. So this was a completely different experience. Did you get the Atlas part you needed? Oh, not yet. I haven't played again yet. Don't know if I'll be playing tonight. I'll probably be playing tomorrow. Tex and his wife are supposed to help me find that, or look into that. Swap the volume knob out for an MXR style knob. Never liked those metal textured round knobs. No, I don't like that. I would like to get, I don't know if they have them or not, but on my guitar I've had since I was a kid, I installed a low friction pot, EVH branded low friction pot, and that plus the treble bleed that I was using were just like the perfect combination for me. So I'd like to get, or see if I can get, one of these push-pull knobs that is zero resistance or low friction. But these are a little more complicated under there. And a custom knob. I like the bigger round ones. Okay. Let's see if I can take off the right locking nut there this time. Yep. So how does the Wolfgang and such seem compared to these? I've never played any of them, so. I've mostly had 90s Kramers and other 90s guitars. '84 in storage and pulled it out. Played it for a couple of years before remembering it even had push-pull. I was like, what the fuck, I'm an idiot. Well, you know, if you're used to getting different tones and stuff out of how you play, it's not as necessary. And if you've got my other amp, this is a 5150, but my other amp was a 6505 MH. It recently got damaged by power surges, so it's had to go back to the factory to get repaired. But it had a really nice clean channel, and so, you know, that's kind of a way to get a bit cleaner without having to reset anything. But if you've already got a good clean channel, then it's not really as different as it. Yeah, it's not as useful. It's still a different sound, but like the Wolfgang, like the neck on the 84. Wider necks on the Charvel's better though. Never. Well, I played one Charvel back in the early 90s, but I don't really remember it being that different. Its tremolo was unusable. I didn't realize what was wrong with it at the time. It was like it had two blades on each side that were severely worn down and damaged. So I basically locked the tremolo down to make it playable. But I realized much later on what had happened is that it had blade inserts, and somebody had taken the inserts out, so it was just writing on there. Yeah. Okay. So color code. I wanted to try these nickel wound EVH strings because I used the 5150 nickel wound strings back in the late 80s, early 90s, or whenever they were available. I wanted to show, since you probably weren't here, because EADEBE. Got a typo on there. Slightly beefier than the 84. I don't remember the radius on the 84. It's 12-inch radius. I don't think it's compound. I believe it's just normal. Slightly beefier than 84. I don't remember the radius. I think Wolfgangs are 12 to 16. Okay, so they're compound radius. Even if it's the same, it certainly feels flatter on the 84. Yeah, on that Kramer Vintage, it has a 14-inch radius, which is all like, oh, it's so good for shredding and stuff. Well, I got on that thing and I couldn't play well. I couldn't play as good. And I had it for several years, and I kept thinking I was just getting worse and worse at playing, and then I got on a 12-inch radius neck, a 90s neck, and it's like suddenly I'm like playing faster and everything. It's like, oh my god, I upgraded myself as a guitarist. It was just the damn neck. So I thought something like called a Kramer Vintage would have a neck like a vintage Kramer, but no. Can be better on necks other than the Wolfgang's. Oh, you think that other compound radius can be better? Feel like I can bend better on necks other than Wolfgang's. Oh, I see. So sounds like the compound radius didn't really help in your case. Kind of thinking maybe it wouldn't in mine either. You know, in the end, it's what's best for you is what's best for your hand. Everybody's hand's a little different. Before I got the just a sec. I had two bad online experiences in a row because before I got the Kramer, I bought a Dean ML modifier, big ass thing, beautiful red, beautiful paint. It had a 17-inch radius and it was a deep U shape, just like trying to play a 2x4. And I was really bad on it, and I never got any better on it. So it's like, so I sold it and got the money to buy the Kramer, and its neck was not as bad for me as the Dean neck, but it's still, I just couldn't play it like I could a good old 90s C. This to me feels like a 90s C. Just basically an old Kramer neck. Or 80s C or 70s C. At least the ones that I had played. Ow! Poking holes in my fingers. Alright. Get that nut tight again. Man, my scalp is in need of American level of oil amounts. I'll be getting to sleep. It is nearly on 1 morning. Oh yeah, you're in the UK, aren't you? Well, thanks for stopping by. I might be playing the game tomorrow with Gypsy and Tex and Charmer. I just really wanted to get these strings on. And every time I went to try to do it, somebody would show up. Or, you know, be off work and this and that. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I cut it off there. How does the Wolfgang tremolo feel compared to like a Floyd? How do you change your strings? I always do them one at a time and fully stretch the strings as I wind and don't move on the next string until the string is fully stretched and holding tune. Well, what I'm doing, well, so this one, I put it through up there, go once over, a couple times under for the top strings, probably just one on the bottom, start with because they're so thick. Then I bring it down here and tighten it here because the nut is locked up there. Because I've had problems with if you tighten it here and then go stringing, winding it up, you tend to get a twist in the string, and that makes it so like when you start playing, it'll be a little bit, a couple of strings might be a little off. Get them all stretched out, and then and then you have to tune it back to where it was. After I had the same guitar keep doing that on the G, it was like I'd have to tune it, then play it a little bit, and then I'd have to tune it back. It's like I figured out that I was getting a torsional load on there. So I loosened the string, locked it up there, got this out, clipped it off again, and stuck it back in, and retightened it, and that string stayed stable. So I'm kind of doing that in advance here by getting it wound on up there, sticking it in here, and I gotta tighten it up. And once she's in tune, get the string stretcher. This was recommended by one of Eddie Van Halen's guitar techs. Do that about 6 times. Tune it up to pitch again. And that's generally about all the stretching you need to do on that string. I used to do it by hand. Then I saw that video and it's like, I'm going to try this. And it's freaking, it does a better, more consistent job of stretching, and it's just been great. Highly recommended. I think it's probably about $6 or something. I don't know. I'd get the original stretcher model because who knows what might be wrong with cheaper versions. Yeah, you can do it by hand, but you know, when you're doing that, it can't really be consistent the way this can. Goes under and over and just. Then once you retighten it, the stretched area is between the locked off places, so you're good. I'll give it a. I generally go crazy on the tremolo. Pick the thing up. Generally stays in tune. Wolfgangs have licensed Floyds. Don't remember what version on the special. 1000 series maybe. Haven't owned a American or Signature series yet. I'd recommend it. These are just yeah. I did it like since the early 90s was the first time I got a Floyd, and early on somebody told me, you know, stretch the strings, so I did it for like 30 years. This is just better. I'll get my tuner back up again. That D-tuner come installed, or did you do that? I did it. I don't know if the newer model comes with it or not. They've made a newer 84. It's got a different pickup, some different paint colors. Something said the body was a little different. I don't know. Why is that so high? That's why. Can't imagine why that string was so loose. Now everything's kind of wonky. Oh, no, I just got this straight from Sweetwater and then installed that. For some reason, this one wanted to stick on me. Get it in there, and then it didn't want to come back out. I haven't really looked into it yet to see if there was an issue with that. Oh, man. Sorry, I gotta blow my nose. Coca-Cola. Don't know why this has gone so sharp. So I'll probably have to rebalance the tremolo a little. I'll figure it out after I do the last one. Okay. Yeah, this has the JB. This one was back ordered, but then the build date on it was December 24th, so I don't know what was going on there. How it could be made before the beginning of the year and then like had to wait so long because it was back ordered. But anyway, the new ones, I think they call them the Eruption T or Eruption Pickup. Something made by Gibson Kramer, I guess. I had a JB before, so I just wanted the same thing. So I knew I liked it. I don't know if they're going to continue to carry this version, or it's a little confusing because it's still called the 84. They ought to call it like the Eruption or the 84 new model. I don't know, but something other than the exact same thing. I'm not sure if the finger over the hole. Bing. I know that the red one is now a satin red, so no gloss. Kind of looked like the other ones were all that way too, but I wanted shiny. Yeah, well, you know, if I was going to have two, if they give me a free second guitar, I'd take one of the newer models too. I like the thought of satin as well, but in this case, I wanted it the way I'd been looking at it. I mean, I'd been kind of wanting one for a few years. But, yeah. There's certainly nothing wrong with a good satin. Oh, another difference is the logo on this one at the headstock is gold, which I never particularly liked that. I'd rather it have been white. The new models have a white logo. I've actually ordered a custom sticker that's white so I can put it over the gold logo. I'd like to try a Frankenstein pickup and see what it's like. Alright, gonna lock that again. Just finger tight. Go down to about here. Snap that puppy off. Make sure it is going exactly straight up and down. Yeah, I highly recommend this tool too. I don't know if it's focusing or not. The same guy that uses the stretcher uses these, but when you're tightening these up, when the screw stops turning and this will flex a bit, you know you've got it just the right tightness, so you don't risk stripping anything out. All right, loosen that. Mm. I don't remember what it called back when Musicman was making a somewhat similar guitar. I don't know how much got changed. Let's see what we got here. And my tremolo is not flat. All right. Oh, I didn't have that. Still too high back here. Need to retune this again. Oh, these are jumbos. They are pretty tall. I don't know if you'll be able to see them on here or not. But most of my guitars have mediums, and these are definitely higher than that. I love it. No, I wish all my guitars had jumbos. Ah, If you're out there, Tex, I've got a spammer on Twitch. Let's see. This is not straight. I'm going to try locking it down anyway and give the tremolo a little use and abuse and see if it goes back to where it was. The tension shouldn't really be different to get to the same pitch. If that string tree's low enough, it's not really supposed to jump in pitch when you tighten it down, but some reason it keeps jumping. Is it this?
Basics okay, or yeah, I just can't buy anything now because I don't want to run out. Nope, nothing quite like PurdyDot. I'll be back. Still power up yet?
I don't know why this is so far off. Where's my mouse go? Where's my mouse? Let's see. Okay, interesting. Okay. One thing I can say, these Kramers feel sturdy. Has a weight to them in a good way. You feel like you're holding a solid piece of wood. Yeah. I was building a kind of a project guitar. I wanted something small and simple that I could kind of easily take places. Like go over to somebody's house if I wanted to and take it, and had a small simple amp instead of my usual setup. And I ended up going with a little baby Dean ML pointy guitar. And it was simpler, no tremolo or anything. But then when I found that it had a shorter scale neck, and I really liked the 25.5. So I got a 90s more dear Hurricane neck. Really, really great neck. Oh no, I didn't get that yet. I got a late 80s, maybe early 90s PV neck, which was all black. Had a black ebonite fretboard, which I wanted because I had a guitar with an ebonite fretboard before, and it was nice, solid, hard, slick, very, very nice neck. But I got this PV one, and it's like just playing it, it kept warbling in and out of tune because the neck flexed so much. And I went and pushed on the middle of the neck, and the fretboard, you could actually push it in, like down into the truss rod cavity. It's like, man, this thing is like plastic bowing neck. This is much more solid. Some of my fingeries on here. And I gotta go wash my hands because it's gonna make my pick too slick to hold on to. My fingers will slip. I'll be right back.
He's gonna go get some burritos, mayonnaise, Frizzly, and burritos for chili. I need the best. I have Frizzly, so. Jose, we use that cheese that you grated.
I make sure you didn't mold or anything. There's that white cheese in there too. Because that white cheese will stick to your cheese. I'm trying to keep the white cheese.
You wanna eat and try it? What it tastes like.
Extremely good for me.
Onion.
growing?
Yeah. I just couldn't do it today because of the block boots.
Oh, yeah. Nice fresh coat. This tuner doesn't really like distortion. Oh, here we go. Let's try that. They're used to the thing here. I'll take my old man pills. Back in the tremolo was still too high. Why did that go up? Have something bound up? Can't stand tune better than that. But that is not right. And should fix that angling, which means I'll have to take these off. Oh, that's about intonation. I just changed the strings though, and you're supposed to check the intonation after every time you change the strings. So it's, there's a little off here, but this is against the screw, so it's always a problem. You have two rows of holes, and if you're going to have this saddle far back, then you use the back hole. But once it gets far enough forward, it runs into that screw. So to go any farther forward, you'd have to put this screw in the other hole. But the problem is, a lot of times, that barely grabs the end of this. It can be a bit of a problem. Like your intonation ends up sitting right between what's optimal on both of them, or on one or the other. Let's see. I gotta brush my nose.
Do you want your food now?
Are you ready to eat?
Well, Vicky's here. And I was going to heat up the thing I saw, yeah.
Are you gonna be eating, or are you gonna go play, or?
Probably got it. I actually found 5 in there. More. Well, there's a lot more.
Hi. So I've got these shims. See how thick they are. Can't read. Doesn't really say how thick they are. I think there's 10 of them. Got 5 here. I think they're probably all the same thickness, but I'll check. These would go underneath here. One 128. Damn. Well, these seem to all be exactly 1/128. Try millimeters.
Oh, I didn't pull it up either. Yeah, I'll pull it back.
0.25. Oh, we tighten that. It seems like 0.15. 0.20. What? Yeah, oh, I lost it. There it is. Okay. So 2 of these should be a 64th, right? Yeah. 2 is a 64th. I think, though, what I should probably do... Oh, did my lovely moderator take care of that evil spammer? Thank you, Tex. Thank you, Tex. Alright, what I'm going to do... Go ahead and end this stream. So we've got the strings changed, but tail of this tremolo is too high, so the springs need adjusted. The intonation looks like it might need a little bit. I already know that I'm having to run this side of the tremolo higher than that side to get the clearance over here, the extra clearance over here. So I want to raise those saddles so I can lower the tremolo. So we'll save those operations till the next video. I do appreciate everybody that came by and had joined in. Thanks Lake Dude and Garum and some guy. Always nice to see returning faces, and of course new ones are great too. Put this back where I know it's supposed to be. I don't lose it before the next video.
I still haven't learned what Schaefer's paragraph writing is all about.
Sorry, I don't play this often. Rock and roll picked us. Alright. Thanks to everybody that came by. Take care, have fun. We'll work on other things for this. Hopefully soon. I love the new strings. I feel like they remind me of the strings that I used to always play. They're great. I don't know what that sound is coming from. But take care.